Today on Monkey Life, Alison makes plans to rehome partially paralysed chimp Chocolat following a visit from her elderly owner.
At 23 years old, you know, she's still got potentially another 30 years if she does well to live, Chocolat.
It's release day at sister sanctuary Dao Tien in Vietnam as black shank douc monkey Peter returns to the wild.
He's still calm. He's very steady. He's behaving like a wild male should.
And baby silvered langur Diep moves into a new home. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Box is secured into place, everything's good.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. Monkey World has been rescuing chimps from across the globe for nearly 40 years. The majority were stolen from the wild after their mothers were shot for bushmeat. The infants were then sold on the black market as pets, used in laboratories, or became part of a callous entertainment trade.
Most of our guys, we can't say what country they were actually born and raised in and had their mothers shot when the babies were taken away. We know that they all share that same story because that's how you get young chimpanzees out of the wild. It's the knock-on effects of that one baby that you see having been smuggled out of Africa are just so vast, I can't even begin to explain. It's just awful. And each individual that we have here at the park that's been smuggled from the wild reflects that story over and over again. And it's continuing today.
Alison often works in conjunction with other wildlife centres, governments and organisations to help primates in need of rescue and rehabilitation. One chimp who's been on her radar for a number of years is Chocolat, a 23-year-old female living in Kenya. She's been cared for by her owner Graziella since she was an infant. Unlike most of the chimps at Monkey World, Chocolat's story is well documented, and it's heartbreaking.
The mother was shot out of the trees for bushmeat, the baby's clinging to the mother, and the baby was covered in bullet spray. So through the head, through the back, and Graziella took on the baby chimp and named it Chocolat, little girl, and began on a quest to try and do everything and anything she could to get medical help for Chocolat. So from the time she was an infant, you know, I've got photos that Graziella has shared with me of Chocolat with, you know, sort of almost cartoon-like bandages around her head. As she started to grow up a bit more, it became clear that she was sort of paralyzed down her right side, at least partially, and that her hand and her foot weren't being used properly.
At the time, Graziella was running Chimpunga, a chimpanzee rehabilitation centre in the Republic of Congo. When she left and moved to Kenya, she took Chocolat with her. The chimp's disabilities required a lot of care and attention, which the centre couldn't provide at the time. So it fell to Graziella to look after her.
Quite a hero in my eyes. You know, she's just done so much over her life, putting her own needs in life aside to do what she could to help and conserve chimpanzees.
But Graziella is now in her 80s with health issues of her own. And her greatest concern is to ensure Chocolat's future is taken care of.
At 23 years old, you know, she's still got quite a number of years, potentially another 30 years if she does well to live, Chocolat. And Graziella is now a senior citizen and knows that she needs to make a plan for Chocolat's future.
With that in mind, Graziella has flown to the UK to visit Alison and Monkey World and discuss the chimp's future.
Chocolat is very important for me. That is true. I hope all the best for her. I don't know if she understands that. I don't know. I hope the best.
Graziella is hoping Chocolat can come and live at Monkey World. But before that happens, there's a lot of planning and paperwork to do.
You can see we can take the door off and then have direct contact, but the animal is still safe inside. And this provides very good viewing, so she can see out while traveling.
Alison has met Chocolat before. In 2016, she flew out to Kenya with the late John Lewis, a specialist wildlife vet. They offered assistance after the chimp suffered a bad fall and damaged her hip.
I agreed to help out, and that I took John Lewis and we went over and with some assistance from the British Army, who are local also, we did a health check. We had Chocolat down with an anesthetic, did blood tests, did x-rays, and checked her out. That leg, John, how are you feeling or thinking?
There's no fracturing in the long bone here. We didn't really expect that. There's a little bit of crepitus, sort of bony crunching, if you like. That's a bit of a dramatic word. In the hip joint itself. So the x-rays will be very
helpful,
interesting, and hopefully helpful. I mean, it's not dislocated or anything, but...
What John and I did find from that health check that we did is that, yes, she has, you know, bullet spray and that kind of thing, but the good hip, the left hip that she actually walks on and puts all of her weight through, it has signs in that hip joint of degenerative bone disease.
From that moment on, Alison made it her mission to do everything she could to help Graziella and Chocolat. But it's an enormous undertaking. Even if all the necessary paperwork and checks are completed and Chocolat makes the journey to Monkey World safely, she'll still need to be integrated into one of the park's chimp groups. Her disabilities could make that challenging.
We can offer Chocolat a home with others of her own kind, but she herself, Chocolat, is going to have to accept and be interested in the companionship of other chimpanzees. I think that'll come even if it's not an instantaneous response. And the others are going to have to accept her. Now, we're used to doing chimpanzee introductions, but with Chocolat's physical handicap, it's a concern.
Alison wouldn't usually consider moving a chimpanzee out of Africa, but Chocolat's case is unique. The rescue centres in Africa are full due to the ongoing illegal trade, and none of them have the facilities to be able to help.
So, yeah, everybody has fully accepted that it's the right thing for Chocolat to come to Monkey World, even though she's currently in Africa. But with no other options, and Graziella reaching out to me saying, please, will you help me do this? There's no getting around it. I've now promised Graziella in exactly these words that regardless of what happens to her or anybody else, I will always be here to help pick up the pieces and do the right thing for Chocolat. And I've made that commitment to Graziella, and I'm going to stick to it.
Alison's efforts to help primates in need right across the globe are also highlighted by the work of Monkey World's sister sanctuary in Vietnam. Dao Tien was set up 16 years ago and is a 65-hectare island reserve in the Dong Nai River within Cat Tien National Park. The small team there dedicate their lives to rescuing, rehabilitating and releasing back into the wild some of Vietnam's most endangered primates. In recent months, the centre has had an influx of primates in need of help, particularly silvered langurs. 5-month-old Diep is one of them. The young male was stolen from the wild along with a female called Danny. The pair were confiscated from a street seller by the police and then released into the care of Dao Tien. Young female Danny was so traumatised she didn't survive more than a few days. But Diep is getting stronger day by day.
He's doing really well, considering on day 3, day 4 when he was here after we rescued him that we had to get him onto oxygen just to pull him through and get him to survive. He's come on leaps and bounds. His health is incredible, he's active, he's not lethargic anymore. It's just incredible to see how he's changed, and it's brilliant news, brilliant news.
With more and more primates needing rescue, the team at Dao Tien realised a purpose-built facility was the only answer. In the last few months, they've been hard at work constructing a douc and silvered langur emergency rehabilitation centre. Despite everything the volatile Vietnamese weather threw at them, the building is now complete and ready to receive its first residents.
So the importance of the new build behind me is that we've got bigger cages, we can do better introductions, we have a better care facility where the staff can actually bring on the youngsters when they come here. And going forward, it'll actually help us maintain and improve the skills that we already have to enhance the rehabilitation of the doucs and silvered langurs when they come to Dao Tien in Vietnam.
The team have some last-minute jobs to finish, fitting out the bedrooms with lots of natural branching.
You happy?
Yeah, very happy.
Happy, cool, excellent. Okay, so we go see Diep? Yes. Okay.
The plan for today is to move Diep into a bedroom of his own, but he won't be lonely. 3 young silvered langurs, Pei, Ah Chu, and Hon Mei will be keeping him company in the bedroom next door. The team think Diep will cope well. He's been spending an hour a day with Hon Mei, and the pair have got on well. Ah Chu and Pei are older and bigger than Diep, so he hasn't been fully introduced to them yet. Animal manager Ms. Fong transfers the infant into his new living accommodation, where he can watch and learn from his neighbours and constantly communicate with them.
Your new home.
With Diep already exploring his new surroundings,
Okay, bin phuc, okay.
the team can bring the 3 silvered langurs across to the new emergency rehabilitation centre. They're released straight away into the next door bedroom.
Too late. We all ready? Okay.
The trio are keen to explore their new surroundings. And little Diep is a very interested onlooker.
I don't know what to say. Everything went according to plan. They've calmed down, they're nice and relaxed, they're eating, interacting. Absolutely amazing. Could not have asked for anything better. It went absolutely smoothly today.
While Diep and his 3 new housemates are in their early stages of rehabilitation, another monkey at the centre is about to complete his. Black-shanked Douc Peter will shortly be released into a 20-hectare semi-free enclosure on the southern tip of Dao Tien. The centre already has a large family of doucs living on the island, some of whom were released in 2010. The team are hoping Peter might join them. But not having released adult males close to established groups before, they're unsure. He may just stay on the fringes to watch and learn from them. It's been a long but rewarding process getting Peter to this point. He arrived at Dao Tien 2 years ago and was estimated to be around 4 to 5 years old. Like many of the primates who come to the Centre for Rehabilitation, the details of his background are unclear. But the team on the island have worked wonders, and he's now a large, strapping, healthy male. Dr. Marina Kenyon, the director of Dao Tien, has flown out to oversee the release. She's amazed how far Peter has come.
Fung and the team worked their magic. One of the biggest tools we have here on Dao Tien is the forest, and we have incredible knowledge now of the wild leaf. And we just started introducing him to wild leaf, and now his knowledge of the forest leaf is brilliant, and he has gained 5 kilos. So 2 years on, he is now a magnificent male and ready for release, passed all health checks, good to go.
The team have built a release cage within the semi-free enclosure. They've also set up camera traps to monitor the area for predators and signs of the other doucs. Peter has spent 48 hours in the release cage, getting used to his new surroundings. It's a humid and wet start to the day, but for the Dao Tien team, there's great excitement. Release day is always special. Peter appears happy and relaxed. He's been fitted with a radio collar so the team can monitor and track his movements on the island when he's released.
It's been raining from around 5 o'clock, but the rains have stopped now. It's very wet, but we're ready to go. This is the first time we've ever fitted a collar onto a douc, and he's not bothered by it. He's hardly played with the antenna. He just every now and again goes, oh, and shakes, tries to shake it off, but otherwise he's very steady with it. So it's a huge day.
Everything is set, and animal manager Ms. Fong opens up the slide. Peter doesn't hang around. One quick look, and he's off up into the canopy, without a backward glance. He immediately settles in a tree and starts eating. Leaves make up more than 80% of a douc's food intake, and the Dao Tien team encourage and teach the primates in their care what makes up an appropriate diet. Peter seems in his element.
He's still calm. He's very steady. He's behaving like a wild male should. We will stick with Peter all day and wait for the first encounter with the wild group. And fingers crossed.
It's a positive start. The team will monitor and track him for the next few months, but it looks like Peter could be another success in the rehabilitation of some of Vietnam's most endangered species. Back at the park in Dorset, it's been a few weeks since stump-tailed macaque Toto underwent serious dental surgery with the removal of 6 teeth. His mouth has healed well, and he's now back with housemate Sylvie and long-term friend Freddie. The trio are all getting on in years, and the primate care staff keep a close eye on them.
Come on, Stumpies! Sylvie, Toto!
Today, Steph is giving them all a scatter feed of sweet corn.
Fred, you coming out?
While Sylvie and Freddie forage for the food, Steph calls Toto over for a closer look
Toto?
and to assess his progress.
Got some things over here too. Come and show me those beautiful eyes, buddy. Come here. Good boy. Okay. Delicious. I'm gonna get telling off from you in a minute, aren't I? Good job. Good job, buddy. Last one, buddy. There you go. Good boy. Good job.
She's pleased with his improvement.
All things considered, he's doing better than he was pre-vet day. We recently had him down for dental. What we thought might be, 1 or 2 teeth that might need to come out turned out to be quite a lot of teeth. He had some really nasty teeth. So in terms of his mouth, he's doing a lot better. He's eating really well. He's started to be eating hard foods again. And that definitely seems to be a big improvement for him.
His dental issues may be on the mend, but that's not the only reason Steph wants a close-up look. Toto has cataracts. His left eye is a lot worse than his right, and the condition is likely to deteriorate.
He's still able to get up and about. He's still got decent mobility. Even though we've got some concern with his eyesight, his vision, he's still able to find small bits of food in long grass. We're just having to keep a lot of care and attention on Toto because he was never very well equipped to be the boss, and he's even less well equipped now. He's got an ageing body to contend to and an ageing brain as well.
He may be getting on, but Toto is still remarkably agile.
Bit of a display now. You're so big and strong, buddy.
Toto isn't the only stumpy the team have been concerned about in recent months. The lone female, Sylvie, is nearly 25 years old and has also had a visit from the vet. Her weight has been fluctuating for a long time, accompanied by bouts of diarrhea. Unfortunately, the vet didn't find anything conclusive, and her condition hasn't improved.
Vet days can be really brilliant in that they find us answers, but they can also sometimes not really give us a lot to work with. Sylvie is a prime case of that. She's doing pretty well in herself. She's up, she's bright, she's active, she's eating. But we haven't really got to the bottom of mysterious bottom problems with Sylvie. She's still getting diarrhea, she's still getting some bloating. Our best sort of guess is that she's got some sort of chronic IBS, so we are doing our best to manage her with her diet and looking at what we're eating and what we're giving to her, and just generally trying to keep a close eye on what's going on. But she's still getting ongoing problems, and we suspect that that will be just her now, and we're just going to have to try and manage it as best we can.
The trio aren't getting any younger, and their ailments may well be the consequence of old age. But the team do all they can to make their lives as comfortable as possible.
So we're just trying to lavish as much care and attention on these 3 as we possibly can while they're with us. But, we have to face the facts that this stumpy group might not be around for too much longer, and we're just trying to give them every bit of love and attention while we've got them.
Next time on Monkey Life. It's time to say goodbye to young orangutan Awan as she heads off to a new home to reunite with prospective partner Jin.
I'm hoping that they'll get on really well together and it'll be a match made in heaven.
And squirrel monkey Lopez loses his cool over a frozen lolly treat.